Let me ask you something honest. You had an idea, a business, a YouTube channel, a new look, something you actually wanted. And for a split second, you felt it, that spark. But then, almost immediately, a voice showed up uninvited. What will people say? And just like that, you didn't post it. You didn't start it. You toned it down. You shrank yourself to fit into a box you didn't even choose. And here's the worst part. No one even said anything. No one laughed. No one judged. You did that to yourself. Your own brain put you in a cage and locked the door before anyone else even had a chance to react. Sound familiar? Here's what makes it even more painful. Logically, it doesn't matter. You've told yourself 100 times, stop caring what people think. But the fear comes back anyway. Every time you're about to post, speak up, start something new, or just be fully, unapologetically yourself, there it is, that invisible wall. This isn't weakness. This isn't insecurity, and it is absolutely not your fault. Today, you'll learn exactly why your brain does this, what's really happening underneath it, and 7 science-backed steps to break this pattern for good, so you can finally live like the version of yourself you actually want to be. Let's go. Here's the truth no one tells you. Your brain isn't broken. It's doing exactly what evolution programmed it to do. 50,000 years ago, being rejected by your tribe meant death. No food, no protection, no survival. Your brain learned one thing hard and fast. Social rejection equals danger. And that neural wiring didn't disappear just because you got Wi-Fi in a city apartment. Your brain still treats a judgmental comment like a spear coming at your face. The stress response is almost identical. Cortisol spikes, heart rate climbs. The amygdala, your brain's alarm system, fires like you're being chased. Dr. Matthew Lieberman, neuroscientist at UCLA, found that social pain activates the same brain regions as physical pain. Being judged literally hurts. So when you avoid doing things because you're afraid of what people think, you're not being weak, you're obeying a 50,000-year-old survival command. But here's the catch. That command is running on outdated software. The opinions of strangers on the internet cannot hurt you. Your colleague's raised eyebrow cannot hurt you. But your brain doesn't know that yet. It's still scanning for lions. And you've been letting that outdated alarm system run your entire life. That ends today. The Stoics figured this out 2,000 years before neuroscience confirmed it. Marcus Aurelius, Roman emperor, one of the most powerful men who ever lived, wrote in his private journal, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." He wasn't writing for an audience. He was writing to remind himself every single day that other people's opinions live in their mind, not yours. And what lives in someone else's mind cannot control you unless you hand them the key. The Stoics called this the dichotomy of control. There are things within your power, your thoughts, your choices, your actions, and things outside your power, other people's opinions, reactions, judgments. The moment you spend energy managing the second category, you abandon the first. This isn't philosophy. This is a cognitive operating system. And combined with what modern neuroscience now confirms, it becomes one of the most powerful mental shifts a human being can make. Here are 7 steps to install that system. Step 1. Name the audience in your head. Here's the first hack, and it will feel uncomfortably simple. The people you're afraid of judging you, picture them right now. Specific faces, your coworker, that one person from school, that follower, your parent. Hold that image. Now ask yourself this. When did you last spend more than 60 seconds thinking about their choices, their haircut, their business idea, their post that didn't do well? You didn't, because you were too busy living your own life. Psychological research from Harvard shows something called the spotlight effect. You consistently overestimate how much other people notice and think about what you do. Their brain is running its own movie. You are a 3-second cameo in it, not the main character. Your move. The next time you feel watched or judged, say this out loud or in your head. They are not thinking about me. They are thinking about themselves. Repeat it until your nervous system believes it, because it's statistically true. One shift in perception can dissolve a fear that has held you back for years. Step 2. Identify whose opinion actually counts. Not all opinions are equal, and right now you're treating the judgment of strangers the same as the feedback of people who actually love and understand you. That's the problem. Researcher Brené Brown, after studying shame and vulnerability for 20 years, developed what she calls the small square of paper practice. She carries a tiny piece of paper in her wallet. On it are the names of the only people whose opinions genuinely matter to her. The rule? You only make it onto that paper if you are someone who loves her while she's struggling, not someone who watches from the cheap seats and offers commentary. People in the arena with her. Your move, write a list. Who are the people in your life who genuinely care about your growth, whose criticism comes from love, not ego? That list is probably 3 to 5 people maximum. Those are the opinions that deserve your attention. Everything else is noise, and you don't negotiate with noise. Stop performing for an audience that isn't even paying attention, and start building for the people who are. Step 3. Do the 10-10-10 reality test. Here's a tool used by business leaders and therapists alike, and it takes 30 seconds. When you feel paralyzed by what people might think, ask yourself 3 questions. Will this matter in 10 minutes? Usually yes, you're in the heat of it. Will it matter in 10 months? Maybe. Will it matter in 10 years? Almost never. Susie Welch, who developed this framework, found that most of the decisions we freeze on are only urgent in the 10-minute window. The fear has an expiration date. The regret of not doing it is the thing that compounds over 10 years. Think about every big thing you were terrified to do that you eventually did anyway. Did anyone actually care as much as you predicted? Did the world end? Or did life just keep moving, and you turned out to be stronger than the fear? Your move. Before every moment of hesitation, run the 10-10-10 test. The question isn't, what will they think right now? The question is, will I regret staying silent in 10 years? Let future you cast the deciding vote. Fear lives in the present tense. Regret lives in the past. You only get to choose one. Step 4. Build identity before seeking approval. Here's a brutal truth about people-pleasing that no one talks about. When you don't know who you are, you let everyone else's opinion fill the blank. You become a mirror, reflecting back whatever the people around you seem to want. And that is exhausting, because the people around you never agree. So you're constantly shape-shifting, constantly managing perception, constantly tired. The antidote is identity. Not confidence, identity. Confidence is a feeling. It fluctuates. Identity is a decision. It anchors. Japanese philosophy has a concept called ikigai, your reason for being. The intersection of what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for. People who have found their ikigai stop seeking external validation because they already have an internal North Star. They don't need approval. They have direction. Your move. Answer 3 questions in writing, not in your head. What do I value above all else? What kind of person am I becoming? What am I willing to be misunderstood for? Those answers are the beginning of an identity that opinions cannot shake. When you know who you are, you stop auditing yourself through other people's eyes. Step 5. Desensitize through small rejections. Fear of judgment grows in avoidance and shrinks in exposure. Every time you avoid something to protect your image, the fear gets stronger. Every time you act despite the fear gets smaller. This is basic neuroscience. The amygdala recalibrates based on outcomes. If you walk into discomfort and survive, your brain updates the threat level. Dr. Jia Jiang famously ran a 100 days of rejection experiment where he made ridiculous requests of strangers daily, asking to play soccer in someone's backyard, requesting a refill of water at a restaurant with orange juice, asking a donut shop to make him a donut shaped like the Olympic rings. What happened after 100 days? He stopped being afraid of no. He realized that most people either say yes or move on immediately. Nobody carries your rejection around. Nobody remembers it tomorrow. Your move. Do one uncomfortable social thing this week that has a high chance of a non-reaction or a soft no. Post something without editing it 17 times. Introduce yourself to someone you'd usually avoid. Send the message without deleting it. Each small act is a rep that trains your brain. This is safe. I survived. I can do more. The life you want is on the other side of the opinion you're afraid of. Step 6. Reframe judgment as a sign you're moving. Here's a mental reframe that will change how judgment lands on you forever. Nobody criticizes the person sitting still. Think about it. The people who attract the most opinions, commentary, and judgment are the people who are actually doing something, building something, creating something, saying something. The moment you take up space in the world, some people will be uncomfortable with it. Not because you're wrong, but because you're moving, and movement reminds them of their own stillness. Theodore Roosevelt's famous 1910 speech captured this. The credit belongs to the person in the arena, the one whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, not the cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. Your move. Every time you receive judgment or unwanted commentary, translate it mentally. Instead of, "they think I'm wrong," hear, "I am doing something visible enough to see." That is a compliment disguised as discomfort. Criticism is the price of a life lived out loud. Pay it gladly. Step 7. Practice the stoic daily audit. This is the step that makes everything else permanent. Marcus Aurelius ended every day with a 3-question self-audit, written in private, not for anyone else, just for himself. 1. Did I act according to my values today? 2. Did I let things outside my control disturb my peace? 3. Where did I hand my power to someone else's opinion? And how do I reclaim it tomorrow? This practice, done consistently, rewires the brain's default pattern over time. Neuroscience calls this self-directed neuroplasticity, the deliberate redirection of habitual thought. When you review where you lost ground to others' opinions, you reduce how often it happens next time. The brain is a prediction machine. Give it new data, and it builds new patterns. Your move. Tonight, before you sleep, write 3 sentences. Something you did today that you're proud of, regardless of whether anyone noticed. Something you almost didn't do because of fear of judgment, and what actually happened. And one action you will take tomorrow that your people-fearing self would avoid. Do this for 30 days. You will not recognize the person you were at the start. So here's your 7-step system. Step 1, the spotlight effect. They are thinking about themselves, not you, always. Step 2, the small paper rule. Only 3 to 5 people's opinions earn space in your head. Step 3, the 10-10-10 test. Will this matter in 10 years? Let future you decide. Step 4, the identity anchor. Know who you are so no one else gets to define it. Step 5, rejection reps. 1 uncomfortable act per week builds immunity to judgment. Step 6, reframe criticism. Judgment means you're visible, and visibility means you're moving. Step 7, the stoic audit. Review where you lost power each night and reclaim it the next morning. This is not about becoming cold, not about not caring about anyone. It's about caring deeply about the right people and being completely free from the rest. Here's your 1 question for the comments. What is the one thing you've been holding back because of what someone might think? Drop it below. Say it out loud. That's already step 1. If this video pushed something in you, like it, subscribe, and share it with one person who needs to hear it. Not for me, for them. And next week, we're going deep into something that ties directly into this. How to build the kind of unshakable self-discipline that doesn't need motivation, willpower, or anyone's permission to show up. You don't want to miss it. See you there.